Hello, welcome to race one of the Zwift inaugural games. I think there's 181 riders, so have signed up to this sort of lunchtime race. In that crowd, we've got Jonathan Huber from Kaboom. We have Rob Bain, Zwifty Zwifter, also from Kaboom. He's just coming back from sort of a respiratory illness and he's getting back to form. We've got Marco Rufer. We have Mark Alford, and we have three Peters. We've got Peter Twaite, we have Peter Winridge, and we also have Pete Evia Rhodes from Team HCT. So there's a good number of Kaboom KCM Kaboom Cycling Madness in this race making an appearance. We do have a loose plan that we've been discussing this morning, and we're also chatting on Discord. I did have some audio, but it seems to have only kind of recorded 3 minutes of that. So I'm going to give you my thoughts and kind of talk you through what was happening during this race. A loose plan was, there's two 2-minute KOMs that are really what make this race up, and then you've got the rest is pretty highly draftable with the rollers in between. So I think the original plan is to get away on lap 2 on the KOM, but maybe with a few, a few pulls through the rollers, maybe an acceleration and down to the JWB bridge beforehand. We want to tire the field out. There's probably going to be a few people that decide to attack that climb. It's the obvious place to do so. But also with the numbers we've got in this race, it's a lot of it as well is just sit in and conserve as much energy and be as efficient as possible. We'll skip through some of it. There are some inappropriate comments from some of the field in here that I think we need to skip through. They're not from the KCM team or the HCT team. Don't really know who they're from, so we'll skip through those. And we'll kind of take you to the exciting bits through this race. So we skipped to the last bit of the first lap. There's plenty of draft to be had down here, so you've got the KOM coming up. Really, what you want to be doing here is just kind of sitting at the back like I am, and drafting as much as possible. I've held my draft van back. I'm actually going to use that through the rollers on lap 2. I've got no plans to use that on this climb or after the climb. I think I'm going to use it, say middle of lap 2, just before I pick up another one. Been feeling pretty good recently. I've hit a run of form. I don't know where it's come from. I've kind of put in a block of intensity and a block of time on the bike in January. I seem to have found maybe 10 to 15 watts. Zone 2 has become a lot easier, and likewise, my zone 5 power has got a bit easier. So I've won a few races in the last few weeks, and I'm feeling positive about this one. I really want to get a good result here. And we're just coming up around this loop, and we're going to get to the first time up the KOM. Now, trick with this KOM is there's plenty of draft going into it, which again is why I'm hanging off the back. I've kind of brought my heart rate down during the bit through the beach, and the trick is you've got to attack the first corner. As you'll see I do here, I get out of the saddle and attack this first corner. There you go, 500 watts for a second, and then keep that 500. And now you want to keep the power down until you get to this next hairpin. You don't want to be on the front. There is a little bit of draft to be had. It's not much, but you just want to kind of be near the front watching what's going on. And if one rider goes off on their own, it's not too big an issue. You just want to be in the front at 5 or 6. You get a slight break on this left-hand hairpin. You can pick up a bit of draft again and get that speed up. You can see the speed goes up to about 32 kilometers per hour there. And now this last section is just pace yourself to the markers. You've got the 300-meter marker just coming up on the right, and then a 200-meter marker. On this corner. And once you get around this corner with this group, the hard work is done. Speeds pick up again here, so your draft comes back. And especially as you go through the banner, there's a little bit of a bump here, but the speeds are good. And get yourself through that banner, and now again start picking up the draft and recover. So that climb, as you can see, has really broken up the pack. We've got the majority, I think all of the Kaboom, the KCM team at this point are in the front group, or the chase pack. And I'm just going to skip forward again now, because really this is, with this being a nice downhill, most of it's downhill, but there's plenty of draft to be had. You can see I'm soft pedaling, less than 2 watts a kilo, most of the time. Certainly less than 200 watts. This is just all about recovery. Any brakes that go on here should be chased down because there's so much draft and the pack size is large. So we're just going to move forward to the rollers on lap 2. We're now into the, I think we call these the S's, or certainly the rollers. This can tire and wear people down, but really what we're going to be doing here is you want to be pushing up the hill and relaxing over the brow of the hill and back down and taking the draft. So speeds are high. You can see there we were doing 47 kilometers per hour for a bit. Then as you go up the roll, go up, it drops down below 40 and back above 40. There's just plenty of draft to be had. So really don't worry too much. You can see I'm modulating my power. We did, one of the ideas we had kind of earlier on was maybe make an attack on that last prolonged hill just before the bridge. I think we're all a bit tired, but I'm going to give it a go. It's not to get away, it's just to sort of put some hurt and stretch out this pack. So I used the draft fan that I've been saving, which put 700 watts out there that really accelerate through the pack. I'm going to hold 700 watts. I'm going to get over the brow of that hill. You can see how I've managed to stretch out that field now by doing this. And now I'm going to relax. This is downhill. We should have a few riders chasing me. I'm now going to sit behind them and take their draft. Let them do the work. And you can see, we've broken that pack up. Go through the banner and pick up my second draft fan. So again, now for the remainder of this part of the loop, part of the loop-to-loop circuit, we're going to loop back round. There's a small climb here, and then we'll go through the S's the other direction. Again, plenty of draft to be had if you modulate your power. Back down into to the beach. Again, plenty of draft to be had, and we'll see how the second attempt up the KOM goes. As before, speeds are high. Coming down this section, you really don't have to pedal hard at all. Some people do. Still 3.6 watts a kilo going on in the pack, and just 4. You really don't need to be doing that. You can see I'm doing 170, 160 watts, and I'm not losing position. Just get that heart rate down. We've still got most of the Kaboom, the KCM team still is in here, and Pete as well from HCT. I think at this stage we have lost Mark and Peter, who've done exceptionally sort of well on. This is a big group, and I think we may have lost Rob at this stage. So he's been recovering from respiratory illness. Okay, here we go, second time up this climb. and just go around the loop. Same tactics as before. Just sit in, attack the corner, stay on front for the first bit, and then just follow what everybody's doing. If you did watch Swifty Swifter's stream or want to have a look at his video here, this is where it's a really good point in the race. Actually, we're all pushing on. Rob's very much encouraging Pete Windridge to make it up this climb. He does exceptionally well. He's with the front group. We've got Jonathan Huber, who is kind of there, just leading us up this hill. And it's such a shame you don't have the audio that I was recording from the Discord, because it stopped recording. Because Jonathan is just in front of me, the glowing Tron, and I'm trying to draft him, but he actually starts to pull away here. He's dropping almost everybody, and I do ask him to ease off a little bit. I was like begging Jonathan to ease about this point. It's like, look at this. He's put a good few meters on me there. So I did actually ask him to ease, and he was off. But we're through the banner. Still got my draft ban, hasn't been used. Can use that at the end. And now, really, this is all about preparation for the final sprint. We've got a bunch of about 30 here. We've got Marco in here. We've got Peter via Rhodes. We've got Jonathan Huber in here. I think Peter Windridge is chasing in here as well. Coming around that right-hand bend and to the last 1.5 kilometres of this race, there really isn't anything to do here. You can see a few people on the front are pushing maybe an early breakaway, but it's minus 7%. Speeds are well over 60 kilometres an hour. You can see apart from that little push there, you can see I'm hardly pedalling. Putting out 0 watts for the most part. And you can see even with 0 watts, I've drifted uncomfortably close to the front there. So I had to back off a bit, and I used my draft fan. I think I've used it a bit early actually. I plan to attack about 300 kilometres. Rob's now shouting in our ear to use our draft fans, and I'm like, oops, I've used mine a bit early. I see someone make a break, and then I decide to follow them, and I go. And this is brilliant. I'll give you the link to Rob's stream, but normally about now I would be fatiguing, I'd be thinking I've done enough, I'm just going to let go, but Rob was shouting down our ear to keep going, and it's just fantastic, and I sneaked into first position across the line, and that is, I think, probably my best result in a race in a large field. I've won a few before, but that is, and certainly last couple of weeks been doing well, but that is, I would have been happy with anything in the top 20 there, so that is fantastic.